this person has to leave, but I can't just be mean and kick this young lady out.
Yeah.
So I go to the bathroom. I go slowly. I get my drink off the counter, and I walk to the bathroom, close the door. I'm fake make some noises. And then I pour some of the Gatorade into the toilet.
She said, what?
How could they do something like that?
Are you serious?
What a thirsty MFer.
Not good. She's absolutely dead to me.
That's because she died.
I'm Sterling Mulberry.
And I'm Blair Payton. And welcome to
Bad Behavior, a morally questionable podcast
where two unqualified friends,
two unhinged comedians,
determine once and for all what is good
and what is bad. Hello and welcome to Bad Behavior. I'm Sterling Mulberry.
And I'm Blair Payton. In each episode of the podcast, a guest shares a morally questionable story from their life, and we decide if they are in the right or the wrong.
Well, as we're just jumping into the episode, Blair.
Yeah.
Something off the top of my mind that I have been really thinking about this past weekend is being out in public and seeing people that you have seen on dating apps.
Is that the thought?
And realizing other people could be seeing you too in public.
Okay. Now,
because
is this a good feeling or a bad feeling?
Bad.
Okay.
It's bad because I went to multiple events this weekend where I saw multiple people out that I actually hate to admit this, I could name. Because I've seen them so many times.
Now, were these people you actually reached out to?
No. But one had reached out to me, I want to say this, upwards of 6 times. So It's like, well, what do we do if we're in the same room? I'm just going to pretend I don't know who you are.
Wait,
but
he reached out 6 times. Did you respond any of those times? Or was it like, ignore?
No.
But I feel like you had to match for him to match.
Well, they liked me that many times in a row. Maybe it wasn't 6. It was at least
what app?
3 or 4.
Can you say what app it is or no? You don't have to.
Well, it's the classic one.
Wait, I haven't been on that particular one for so long. So if someone likes you,
yeah, you can see.
Do you have to accept it? I sound so old right now.
I'm so glad that we have a boomer on the podcast today to really tell them what's going on in the online world. No, you famously, people can send you likes, you can send them likes, and then they see who liked you. But yeah, in the like, you could write a little message.
Oh, got it.
Or just like you. It's just like this weird thing that like, it's now happened to me so many times because I live in actually the smallest land that's ever been, in which I'm just kind of like, okay. We acknowledge, but I am like, well, now I feel awkward, but I think I just have to, in those scenarios, I'm just like, I'm pretending I don't know. But we were at this place Friday night, which we went over to the west side, which the west side of Los Angeles is very different from the east side. You're actually kind of in a whole different
area.
You're in a whole different city. Because I go over to the west side. I want to say this is the hottest men I've ever seen in my life are there. Anyways, I had seen this guy who I'd seen in Rosedale, if you know what Rosedale is, about 1 million times.
Oh, Rosedale.
And I was telling my friends, that guy is literally in my Rosedale 1,000 times. I actually could, at this time, quote his profile back to you. Because I don't have much in my brain, but what I do store is every single person I've ever seen on a dating app. Even from like 10 years ago, I can always remember. Anyways, but then I saw him in person and I was like, get back to jail. I want you to stay in there. I'm not interested at all.
Did you at least give him the benefit of the doubt and go up and just be like, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Sterling Mulberry. So you probably know me from Bad Behavior. And then hold your hand up.
I told my friends, I go, I know that guy's name.
What did your friend say?
That's how many times I've seen him. And then I was like,
you hear that noise? He was outside your window about to ask you on a date. And then he was like, I hear her talking about me, talking shit. I'm out of here.
And so they shouted his name, but he didn't turn around because then I was scared. But yeah, basically what happened is I kind of went to a party at a golf course, if you can even imagine that. Like things are happening in Los Angeles. You're like, what's going on? Ready for this? I went to a golf course.
Okay.
Santa Monica. Nighttime, picnic, drinking, 10 p.m. turns into silent disco. What's happening? Then people are silent discoing around you.
Okay.
I'm like, this is a weird way to meet people. But
yeah, I don't love that.
It was a friend's birthday. And for someone's birthday, you must go to the west side. So that happened. But somebody actually had a really good pickup line. We weren't interested in them, obviously, at all. But as we were kind of leaving, someone turned us and goes, wait, actually, it was amazing. They go, wait, are you guys leaving already? Immediately, we're like, wait, do we know these people? And then, Blair, a classic thing happens. We turn around. Of course, because I'm not going to ever talk to anyone, I keep walking. I leave my friend and I say, babe, you're on your own for this one.
Yeah.
she stays. And they go, so glad she stayed because we have a comedy show tomorrow night we'd love to tell you about. They then start selling us comedy tickets. I go, think I've seen this film before. I was like, this is brilliant. And we should be doing that. People think you're hitting on you, but actually we're telling you to come to our comedy show.
Okay, this is great. This will help me out because, I'm doing a fundraiser for my short film. So tomorrow I'm in the office. So at the end of the day, when people start leaving, I'll be like, you're not leaving yet, are you? And then if they decide to stay, I'll be like, well, then you should donate to my fundraising project since we're already talking about it. Boom.
That is good. That is good. I think you should test it out. I think you need to be going to the local watering holes, aka your local bars. Start doing that. People are going to think you're hitting on them. And then as they get uncomfortable, maybe they feel a little uncomfortable, they're like, oh, I'm in a relationship. You go, you know what? I want to put you at ease. I'm not hitting on you. I just want you to donate.
I just want your money.
My fundraiser.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they were kind of worried that you're asking them to marry them. They're now actually feeling safe that all they're asking for is money.
Yeah,
and so
they're like, can I give you all of my credit cards? And I'll be like, one is fine.
Yeah, one is fine.
Well, so for anyone listening, I am doing a crowdfunding project, and I would love for you to contribute if you are able to. It's a short little film about me and my dad. It's loosely based on us, and the link is in the description. If you contribute a decent amount, you might even get a gift. We have some fun incentives. Yeah, so check it out.
Just in time for the holiday season.
Just in time for the holiday season. We have a sticker pack. Now, how great would it be to give your loved one a sticker pack of me and my dad's faces? Merry Christmas.
That is just what every loved one always says.
Absolutely.
On the top of their wish list. Mm-hmm. Well, that's very exciting, Blair. And you know what I'm also very excited for is our incredible guest today. He is a comedian in Los Angeles and has a new special that he is filming on October 13th. So if you're in LA, come check it out. Please welcome Danny Sellers. Thank you so much for coming on today, Danny.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Sterling was telling me before the recording that you used to play football, which is crazy because, obviously we're not a sports podcast, but this is the second week in a row. Not that you're still doing it, but that we are having a lot of connections to sports, which I never thought would be.
Yeah, no, it feels a long time ago, like 10 years now, in college.
Where did you play?
A school called Elon in North Carolina.
Do you feel like you've shed your football roots or do you still play and follow?
I follow a crazy amount. I literally this time, this is, if you didn't know, this is football season.
Yeah. No, we know. We had a little football podcast around last week. So
we got educated. So we're professionals now. So hit us with what you got.
Yeah, so this is okay.
What should we be knowing for this fall? Any big takeaways?
Taylor Swift is not good for the game. No, I'm joking. I'm sorry. I was joking.
Those Please are don't. Bold words. You don't want a Swiftie will attack you.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm joking, listeners. Yes, it's just a great time. It's a lot of games getting into the meat of the season. It's good vibes. I still watch. Don't play anymore. My body can't take it, but watch every weekend for sure.
Okay, and who's the players we should watch out for? Who are the hot men of the season?
I don't know if I can say the hot men of the times. I don't know. I mean, it's a bunch of the cool little teams. Like this team, Colorado's dope. I don't know if you ever heard of Deion Sanders. This old, one of the best football players ever from back in the day. He's a coach at Colorado, which is historically not a great team.
Okay,
but he came to this school from another smaller HBCU school. And now they're doing really good this year, but his son is the quarterback. And then there's this other kid who's on the team who's even better than his son that might win the Heisman, which is like the Oscars of football.
Okay, now you're speaking. Now you're getting to know us. You're getting the lingo.
Exactly.
Okay, so that is essentially the movie of the season we need to watch out for. Yes. Colorado. Okay,
yes,
I love it.
The A24. Yes, the A24 of college football.
Well, Danny, you just came on and did my lovely show the other week, Phones Down. Mm-hmm. And we're revealing kind of an amazing artifact from your phone.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that experience? Are you traumatized or do you feel okay about being so vulnerable on stage?
My comedy regularly is kind of vulnerable, but shows like that and even this podcast, you have to decide kind of on a whim how incriminating you want. Like, you don't want to incriminate yourself to an extent of this person is a bad person, but you still want it to be funny. So I have to really think about what's the line of being funny or I'm going to get canceled in 10 years from this interview.
I mean, you did start out by saying you didn't like Taylor Swift. Jokingly, but still.
That might be the one. Yeah,
that might be the one. Well, what was the thing you revealed at the show?
It ended up being whatever. It was fine, but I had some other ones that I was thinking about. It was me at a kickback party in San Francisco, like from 2016, and me just like moving around in the corner kind of weirdly, like a weirdo.
Like,
but it was just random. It's like, yeah.
A kickback, I feel like is very West Coast. That's basically just
what is a kickback party?
It's a small party. It's a small 15 to 20 people.
You're football in college, then you went into tech.
Yeah.
And then into comedy. How did you make that transition? What were the different stages? What happened?
I mean, I should have done it from the first. Like, I always knew this is what I wanted to do, but I was too much of a whatever, scared pussy, whatever you want to call it, to actually pursue it. Mm. So in college, I played football, but I was also part of a fraternity, and we would do sketches back then to promote our parties. And mind you, I'm like a business major, so my friend was a communications major, so you know a little bit about cameras. But so we would rent these cameras from like the film school and just go around campus and record stuff and put on costumes and shit. So we had always, and I would like host events in college, like our step shows or whatever, our pageants. So I was always doing this stuff the whole time, but I think in my brain, for some reason, I felt like I needed to get a real big boy job. Like, all right, fun's over.
Of course.
You got to be, an adult now. And that's kind of what not forced me, but I think led me to have a job that I hated for like 7 years.
Going back to the commercials you made, like you would make these commercials. Would you put them on YouTube and then send them to everyone?
So this is like, 2012 to 14. So this is like algorithms in YouTube were kind of happening, but not as heavily. Even on Instagram, pretty much not at all. Like the timelines were still chronological. So you could, like, if you had 1,000 followers on a micro level, you're going to touch, 995 people unless someone just didn't log on. So when you posted stuff back then to your network, like people heard about it. So we would post, flyers and stuff a bunch, but then we caught on of like, what if we made little sketches out of like characters to promote our party? So we just go shoot it, edit it, make it like 3-4 minutes, and just put it right on YouTube.
What, are these videos still live?
Yeah, they are.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I feel like we gotta bring that back to culture. Have you had another party since in your adulthood, and have you tried to promote it via video on YouTube?
I guess if stand-up is, if that's a party, then sure, every other day.
Sure, that's so true. Yeah. Based on kind of your many little pivots in life, we have a game today that we play on this podcast called Heaven or Hell. And this is a game where we're going to present some different scenarios for you. And you're going to have to decide if that is heaven, hell, or if you're kind of in different purgatory. So these are going to be kind of based on, again, your life pivots, some various pivots that you could make going forward in life.
Okay.
And if that would be heaven, hell, or purgatory for you.
After countless nights of tossing and turning because of noisy neighbors, you buy a camper van and join #vanlife to finally get some peace and quiet.
I think in the months between September and October, that sounds like heaven.
Okay.
Like a nice fall. Fall in like, Lake Tahoe vibes or like Yosemite, that might slap. That might be fire.
Now, rank the seasons from best to worst.
I was just talking about this to somebody. For van life specifically, I think summer's probably the best, followed by fall, spring, winter.
Okay. Now, just in general, what's your thoughts outside of van life?
Yeah, I mean, fall might be first. It's close. Like a fall in LA is really nice, but winter's last. I think spring's always going to be third, and then it just really depends on the vibe between. Because holidays are great too in the fall, so it's really 1A, 1B, and then
okay,
the other ones are whatever.
Now, you would be fine with kind of then being known on socials for having #vanlife. Yeah. Like you'd be taking your little like photo with like your feet sticking out, and there's like a lake, and that would be you and your aesthetic, and you're okay.
Yeah,
with
my vibe would be way sexier than that. Yeah, I wouldn't do the regular like
give us an example.
Coffee. Like I would like wake up in the morning, do a video, drink a coffee. If I'm going to smoke that day, have a little something to smoke or something, and just like talk about my vibe of the day, and like what I did yesterday. Hey, I just walked for 8 miles on the beach, and checked 2 emails and I didn't answer any of them or something like that.
Would you have music in the background?
Yes, but it would be very ratchet. It would be opposite of the vibes.
Got it.
So it would be very vulgar rap music with like a nice, beautiful sunset. That's kind of my aesthetic. That's my 32-year-old aesthetic these days for sure.
And do you think when you came back to Los Angeles, you would be welcomed back in your friend group with open arms, or would they be so annoyed at you that they would have unfollowed you at that point?
You know, the thing is, normally, yes, but comedians already do so much cringe shit that no one has any room to make fun of anybody online. Because I've seen some of the most bullshit content make people rich in the past 3 years, and I'm one bad decision away from becoming a TikTok. So I wouldn't give a shit what they said.
Okay, your next one. To help simplify your life and ease decision fatigue, you start wearing the same outfit every day. A black turtleneck and jeans, just like your heroes, Elizabeth Holmes and Steve Jobs.
That's hell.
Okay. Why?
I don't understand. These people that act like they're so busy that they just can't spend 40 seconds to pick out a shirt and pants are psychopaths.
But one might argue that they're colorblind and can't figure out colors, and they're like, let's go basic. They could be struggling.
Then just do black and whites, at least. Black, white, gray. So you just know the grade of what you're wearing.
Yeah.
But wearing the same thing every single day, you're just a loser that's trying to find. You probably spend time looking for TV shows to watch, reading books. You have an extra 2 minutes to put something together, even if it's a basic aesthetic.
Yeah.
Because I like to dress, so I don't want to. I can't wear the same shit every day.
That would be tough for you.
If you had to go basic, what would your basic aesthetic be?
Ooh, jeans, blue jeans, and I might do white t-shirt to switch it up.
Number 3, tired of online dating, you delete the apps and start meeting people the old-fashioned way by going up to people in public and asking them out.
That's kind of heavenly. I'm on the apps for the first time ever this past spring until now.
How is it?
Wow.
I used to be married, so I was in a relationship and whatever. Yeah. So it's all new to me. I think I'm finally starting to get tired of it after 7-8 months of using them. It's kind of just like, this is kind of weird. Yeah. And I'm not a weirdo in real life, so I could really just meet people. I could just work a little bit harder to meet people. And you can do that.
Yeah.
And you can actually see somebody's vibe. Like on a dating app, you might see someone in 4 pictures and then meet them in person. They're absolutely weirdos. And that's always embarrassing.
Do you have a headline on your dating app?
Yeah, I think on Raya, I think I say long story short, and that's it.
And has that worked? Has anyone been like, what's the story?
I mean, they accept me, but they don't ask about the story at all. They just kind of.
Has anyone asked you ever in your life, like sat you down and just been like, so what's your story? So I feel like people are doing that in the movies all the time, but I've never been asked that.
Yeah, if a girl asked me that, I would be like, yo, ma'am, let's leave. What's your story? Are you a fucking private investigator? Where do I start? Like that's
drama.
Grown-ups. Yeah.
Can we smoke in here?
Right.
This weekend, somebody asked me, who I don't really know,
and
said, what's your attachment style off the bat?
That's so funny because if that person asked me that, I'd be like, ooh, great question. Let me think.
Well, I was like, well, I'm secure, of course. And then they said, I'm avoidant. And I go, okay, well, get out of here.
What are the styles?
Go home.
Well, I don't know this. I don't even know the style.
Avoidant, anxious, secure. And I guess there's some in-betweens, but there's just silly.
Those are the 3 main.
Over it.
So, Danny, what would yours be if you had to pick? As long as we're here.
I think I'm avoidant these days, for sure.
Okay. I would be anxious. Well, this was fun.
I think, unfortunately, avoidant is like the hot one to be. I mean, of course, secure is great, but like the cool people are no offense avoidant, and that's scary. You have to kind of be careful because they can really get you.
Exhausted by commuting in LA traffic, you take up biking and get rid of your car.
And you're wearing those little bike outfits.
That's disgusting. People when I lived in San Francisco, people would pull up to work biking. Luckily, they had a shower there, which is, whatever. But yeah, people that are in suits on bikes, brother, either quit that job or get a car. But I never can respect somebody. And I get it. The environment is ruined. But take the bus, walk a little bit, carpool. But as an adult, you're really using a bike to like get to work and you have like a professional like collared job. That's disgusting.
Okay, next one. After years of trying to break into Hollywood, you decide that you need more than talent to get ahead and join a celebrity cult. I'm going to leave it at kind of an open-ended celebrity cult. Think you can decide whichever one you want, because I feel like there's probably a few different ones.
But there's a main
Would
big
you kind
one.
of do that to get ahead in the industry, make good connections?
Is the cult a vibe? Like, is this like a yoga cult? Is it a freaky
It
ass
has
cult?
obviously a little bit of a scary vibe. Definitely probably monetarily bad for you, but they maybe could get you a role in a movie.
Let's just say,
I can't say it's probably
films have been made about this place.
Oh, like one of those freaky yoga joints. Nah, I couldn't do it.
Okay.
Nah, because I would still want to be able to I don't know. If it's too freaky, it's not going to be fun. I don't want to do all that.
Yeah.
Extra freakiness.
Okay.
That's fair.
Totally.
No other thoughts on that.
I guess y'all disagree.
No, I wouldn't join. I wouldn't join because I would get too scared. I would definitely be too scared.
Yeah.
And I would hate for people if I couldn't, I would hate not to be able to leave.
And also, if they're having a ton of parties, like I'm okay with the occasional party, but I am a real homebody. So if I have to put on a suit, I'm out.
Yeah. And have sex with people.
Do not make me put on a suit.
That's what they're known for, is making people put on
Well,
suits.
if they have a fancy party. I only have one suit. I wear it to funerals, Easters, and weddings. Actually, just wore it last week to a wedding. Okay, and the last one. You're invited to your significant other's family Thanksgiving, and upon waking up Thanksgiving Day, realize they are a turkey trot family, and thus you have to become a turkey trotter to get them in your life.
Hell, because I am in decent shape. Not in great shape, but I work out. And when I'm on vacation, I like to not to have to do things, period, let alone things that I don't kind of want to do.
Yeah.
But if it's a vibe where we're going to run, but we're going to get hammered right after, cool.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do the turkey trot. Then we're going to have bad food. And then we're going to, eat super late. Like, it's got to be, we got to make up for it in some kind of way.
So as long as the turkey trot had a drinking element right after, you'd be down.
Something, yeah. The thing is this, going to your significant other's holidays is always, for the most part, a sacrifice. Let's be honest. At our big age, I got to sit here and talk to somebody's...
At our big age.
You got to talk to somebody's uncle, their dad. You got to be nice. You can't cuss as much. You got to play with kids that you don't even fucking know. You got to act like you know these kids, somebody's cousin. And it's like, okay, I guess,
And also, too, you have to be dressed kind of somewhat nice for most of the day, and you can't just put on your sweats.
Right.
And that's
when you're at home, maybe, you might switch into, your sweatpants, whatever.
Oh, I do it when the meal comes.
Yeah.
I was like, I know these fuckers. I don't need to be dressed nice for them.
That's good.
Yeah.
The first couple ones, though. The first one, you got to have, real clothes on the whole day.
Oh, I know. I did.
I feel like my toxic trait is I'd love to marry into a turkey trot family. I'm always trying to get my friends to run a turkey trot and my own family, and they're kind of like, stop.
Yeah.
But I ran my own turkey trot last year with my friend in LA. We just did our own. We just ran around the Silver Lake Reservoir and then would just say turkey trot every mile or so.
That's sad.
And that's not good.
How many miles is that?
It's scary.
That's kind of long.
Well, it wasn't that many. It's like 3.5.
That's enough.
It's kind of big.
Well,
but I hope to one day find a fellow turkey trotter.
Fingers crossed, Sterling.
Yeah.
I know, fingers crossed. You did something. It might be right, it might be wrong. And Blair and I are here to kind of help you figure it out because we are etiquette experts. So whenever you're ready, launch on into your story.
Okay, like I told you, I had two different things I was thinking about. I'm going to tell this one because it's a little more juicy, as the people would say in the industry.
Hell yeah!
But I'll clean it up some.
You don't have to.
I have to because I need a job.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Whatever you're comfortable with.
So, anyways, I'm in college. This is like junior year of college. Long story short, a young lady I was attracted to, whatever, comes over or trying to come over, whatever, to have a great evening. Rest of our evening, we get to having a great evening. It's not a great experience. Like, it's not like on both of our end. I think I just wasn't performing. She wasn't. It was this bad vibe.
Were you doing stand up or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, improv.
That's
improv.
so cute.
Oh,
There's actually a
one
lot of
person
improv.
each. That's nice.
Yeah.
You had done a video and you sent it to her and said, "Come over to my house."
Exactly.
Okay.
And she wasn't yes-anding. I wasn't yes-anding.
Totally.
It was bad vibes. So anyways, we finished the session in this kind of awkward state. And so, like, once again, trying to be the gentleman that I am, even though I've had a shitty experience, probably partially because of me, I'm like ready to be back alone again. But when, as we've all been there, it's like, okay, this is insane. I want to go back to sleep.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So the funny thing is that, like, this person, she didn't live that close to me. Like, we were on campus, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm down the hall kind of situation. It was like, a 3-minute car drive, but it wasn't. It was like a 15 to 18-minute walk, which in college terms, in a small town, you walk any more than 10 minutes, that's like you're complaining, and it's late at night. So I totally get it. I'm expecting, or like, I don't know if she had a friend, because it's kind of early enough in the night where, like, can somebody scoop you or whatever? I can't remember why we were thinking that someone's going to pick her up, but maybe somebody dropped her off. I think that's what had happened. So I'm just like, all right. But her friend, who I think was going to pick her up, backed out for what maybe she was having fun, having an improv session somewhere else.
Right.
Sure.
I mean,
So
it's
I'm like,
popular in college.
Exactly. Everybody was doing it. So it was a troop. Yeah, there's a lot of troops going on.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm kind of exhausted. I want to have my time back. And I'm like, start acting like I'm sick. Like, oh, I'm feeling so sick. I'm like, is she coming or not? Like, as she's thinking about her friend coming, I'm acting more and more sick.
And physically, what kind of sickness? A light cold? Stomach. Okay.
We've been drinking a little bit, so I'm like, I'm just like, so hammered, Because this is also helping excuse my horrible performance during the session too.
Sure.
It's
a twofer.
Yeah, my whole body's shutting down.
Oh no.
So they kind of like, this is the climax of my performance. I'm like, all right, this person has to leave, but I can't just be mean and kick this young lady out.
Yeah.
So I go to the bathroom. I like go slowly. I get my drink off the counter and I walk to the bathroom, close the door. I'm like, fake make some noises. And then I pour some of the Gatorade into the toilet as if I'm throwing up. So you
Yeah.
Okay.
Let it sit there for a second, flush, fake wash my hands, come back out.
When you say fake wash your hands, did you turn the faucet on but not put your hands underneath?
I'm sure I just did like the hands through the fall, but like that.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Come back out. Still sit on the edge of the bed, like bent over, like I just threw up 8 pounds of liquid. Say nothing. Then just like after a minute, like, did she ever hit you back? She's like, no. I was like, all right, I think I can take you. Like as if I just, threw up when I haven't, and I'm not even that drunk. And I drove her home. Long story short. So long story short is I act like I threw up a pound or a gallon of liquids when I wanted somebody to leave my bed in college.
What did she say when you were like, I guess I can take you home? What was her response?
I think she was, either she knew exactly what I was doing or was just like, whatever, bro.
Okay.
Or she was just like, oh, like, yeah, I can. Yeah, like, if you don't mind, thank you so much. She was nice about it.
Okay.
Like I said, unless she was also a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
I think she kind of got it, but she also could have been like, this dude's a fucking idiot. Just take me home, bro.
Well, this is very interesting. And
this is very interesting.
We had a story like this very recently.
Really?
In the same vein.
Literally the exact same vein, but reverse. Kind of a girl, even.
Ooh.
Yeah, we had a comedian on so recently. So now I'm literally like, if anyone ever throws up in front of me, like,
no one is genuinely throwing up anymore, and that hurts my feelings.
I did not know this was a phenomenon, but we've now had 2 stories in truly the past 2 weeks, which is amazing.
Every time I have sex, they just throw up right after. I don't know what's going on.
Wait, what's happening?
Every single
But your
time
scenario is very different than her scenario.
It's very different.
So it's different. It's the same act of like, how do I not have an uncomfortable conversation?
Mm-hmm.
So this was the first time that you had seen this young woman do improv.
Yeah.
And did you guys improv again after?
Yeah.
No, never again.
Never.
So it was just the one show.
So this was kind of a one-time thing.
Yes.
Okay. So you didn't have like a long history. You weren't like actively dating or something like that.
No.
Okay.
How did you two meet?
I wish I could tell. I mean, it was a smallish school, so you just meet, first couple weeks of school. I think she might have been a grade or two younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
So, first week, you just like, you already know who's at the school as is. So then first week of parties, it's like, oh, these are the new people, these are the new people, these are the new people. And then everybody kind of knows everybody after a couple weeks of, and I was on the football team. So like,
that helps.
People just kind of, we weren't great, but people just knew who the football players were, predominantly white school, black kid.
Was it one of those situations where you meet once and then you're like, hey, we should do improv? Or did you go out like on a date and then?
It was no dates. It was just like, I've seen you at party. Yeah, we weren't dating. I mean, I wasn't going on dates in college. Maybe that's a problem. But just meeting people at, parties, pre-games, whatever the thing. Yeah, kickbacks.
Now, when she came over, had you had anything to drink? Was she aware?
Yeah, I think we both were aware that there was some drinking, for sure.
I hate to even put this out in the air.
Okay.
But do you think there was any scenario in which the act had occurred, right? And you're sitting there. And she would have taken, instead of you being sick from alcohol, she would have been like, he's disgusted by me and he's going to go throw up. Or he's disturbed by what happened that it actually made him sick to his stomach. How bad her improv session was.
No, I think if she did believe me, I think she thought it was only because of the alcohol and just being kind of sick. I think because once again in college, that's what people are like throwing up. People are getting that drunk.
Of course.
Like, I think we forget.
Yeah,
like back in the day, it wasn't abnormal for someone to vomit the night before.
When she came over to your apartment, was there like alcohol on the counter just to kind of like work your alibi a little more?
He wasn't knowing that he was going to be so bad at yes anding.
Well, I know, but I mean, was she aware that there was maybe nearby alcohol?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is college. This is weekend, so I think either we threw a party or maybe we had a game that night, or something. It was a kind of probably an event that was going on that night to explain that people were drinking at some point. Even herself, myself, like people were out being social that evening.
Now, was there a point in which you were kind of waiting for the friend to respond, but hadn't done your famous act of throw up yet? That was there a world in why did you not just say, I guess, when you were saying like, oh, I'm really not feeling that well, did you just not prompt like, I'm happy to take you home, I just I'm not feeling so good? You felt like in order to really sell it, you had to do the fake throw up. You couldn't just have just gone to oh gosh, I'm really not feeling so good.
Maybe I just wanted her to really actually maybe try to get a ride. And I was
There's
maybe
a 15-minute walk. It's so close, no?
But it is small town.
Yeah.
And that does feel like
it's only a 3-minute drive.
I mean,
that feels like it's.
But at night,
3-minute drive seems less of an imposition than maybe a 5 minutes of fake throw up. No.
What you're saying now makes 100% sense. You're talking about a 20-year-old child that is not thinking logically of after we finish, I can just take you home.
Yeah.
But just maybe because I had drunk some, I was I don't want to get back on the road again if I don't have to.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's probably what it was. Because even in North Carolina, even if you're not even if you aren't over, there is no limit if you're under 21. So you could have had a beer and still get in trouble if you're under 21. So maybe that was why I was I don't want to just take you home. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I was probably over the limit. Maybe not a crazy amount, but TMI. But I think that's probably why I didn't want to get back on the road, to be honest.
Totally. So you actually were I'm so drunk, I'm going to go throw up and then drive.
Yeah.
I'm actually so wasted. And then she was like, that sounds great.
Yeah. It was compounding bad decisions. Of
Totally.
Now, do you think, because, I feel for the scenario, do you think maybe one of the reasons you were not successfully executing improv was maybe the stress of school and from footballing? Was that kind of weighing on you in that moment?
So much homework.
Yeah.
There's so much homework on and off the field that I had to do that I think that was the reason.
Would you
Blair,
say you were the
thank you.
star athlete?
Not at all.
Okay. Okay.
Not at all. So I couldn't even blame that part of it. But I had some good games. I had more bad than good, but I had some good games, some good weekends off of good games. But yeah.
Okay.
I guess my last question for you today, before we give our judgment, is: did you ever repeat this kind of behavior again? Like, did you ever fake throw up again in order to get out of a situation like this?
No, never did. No.
Okay.
I mean,
I've always been a type of person that I would want to treat this person with enough respect that, like, let's make sure you get home safely or get to where you need to get to safely or whatever. So I'm sure I either called an Uber or I was the one getting kicked out or whatever. But but no, I was never going to the fake throw up thing. That was one and done.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Beautiful. Well, thank you for being so vulnerable today. That was amazing.
Thank you for
okay,
allowing me.
Blair, what are you thinking?
Oof. You know, as a fellow performer myself, I appreciate the craft of avoiding confrontation with a little storytelling, a little theatrics.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you weren't. I hate to say this, but you were not doing great improv in bed, and then not great improv afterwards. So it was just kind of it seems like a big mess, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, and even echoing what Sterling said, as far as like, you know, you could have been like, "Hey, I don't feel great. I can drive you home," but you had to go to theatrics, and you even said you don't think she was even buying it. So woof. All right. So while I appreciate the technique, I am going to have to side on the side of badness. So I am going to say bad
evil.
Behavior. Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa. No, I feel like I have a little bit of a different take today.
Ooh, hit me.
To be honest. I feel like a comedian's journey, a famous comedian's journey is this.
Yeah.
You try improv like we did in New York City for a while.
Yeah.
And you say, look, we're not that good at it. Let me try stand up.
Yeah.
And this was the same journey that Danny went on, right? Bravely doing improv in real life and saying, look, it's not for me. Tried my best, multiple scenarios. There might be a better art form.
Yeah.
And then he was able to make his way to stand-up comedy.
Sure.
So I say, can we blame the journey if it's such a classic tale?
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to go with good behavior.
Wow. That's a really good point.
Is that a beautiful spin?
Yeah. That's a lot of spin. I'll take all of the spin.
Because that's true. We all know how terrible improv can be. And especially when you're in the middle of it, you know?
Especially.
And you're not getting that validation back.
No laughs. I bet you didn't even have any laughs.
That's groans, looking at your watch, you know?
Yeah.
Silence.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I'll take both the good and the bad. Because
So, Danny, it seems that we have a split decision today. And so when we do come to this, which is rare, we ask our guests to make a final plea for whichever kind of side you think you should be deemed in order to sway us. So if you think you should be deemed bad once and for all, have your guilt kind of lifted by being punished, okay? Or if you say, look, no, what I did was good and I still stand by it today. So we're going to give you 30 seconds, a very short amount of time on the clock for you to make a final plea to sway either Blair or I.
Okay.
Your time begins now.
Okay. I do ultimately think it was bad. It was bad because you should be truthful with people and how you feel about them.
Yeah.
And but I think the only thing I think is good is that in my brain I was at least attempting to be thoughtful for someone else's feelings in the moment instead of just kicking someone out or being like, I'll just take you home immediately. Let me paint a picture.
And your time is up.
That's so beautiful. So it seems like you made arguments for both sides.
Yeah.
I will say you did,
say
bad. After saying that you think it's bad, you did chuckle, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm a bad person.
Yeah. And then, and also too, you got to think of it from her point of view. You threw up after improv.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a bad person. So I think that's.
Hey,
no, Sterling. So he is. Let him. He needs to accept this.
Well, Danny, you've officially been deemed bad behavior. But that means that we're going to give you a little punishment that's light today to kind of be able to rid yourself of this guilt from this story once and for all. Okay, so you're going to move through the world no longer a bad person, just a neutral person.
Okay,
your admission of guilt, if you will.
Wow, everyone is just so sensitive these days. As my favorite comedian Jerry Seinfeld once said, people worry so much about offending other people, and I gotta say, I agree. You know, back in my day, jokes were jokes. Breaking the law was just an oopsie, and being an asshole was rewarded. So, you know, I guess I'm sorry that you guys feel offended by my actions.
Wow, how do you feel?
It feels cathartic. It feels good to kind of finally be able to speak my piece, you know?
Yeah. Well, Danny, thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing your story on today's podcast. Before we wrap up, can you please tell listeners where they can find you? You have an upcoming special that you're filming soon to plug?
Yes.
And anything else?
Yeah, I'm self-producing my own comedy special, my second one, October 13th. If you're in LA, it's a Sunday. It's at a beautiful venue. We're going to shoot it right at the sunset. The title of the special is called Lover Boy. So if you want to hear more insane stories about my life, my love life specifically, pull up to that. You can follow me at Follow Sellers, and you can find tickets for that special taping at followsellers.com.
And that's our show. Thanks so much for listening today.
We absolutely hate to do this. We hate it.
But it would mean the world to us if you can subscribe to the podcast wherever you get podcasts, rate and review.
Follow us at Bad Behavior NYC on Instagram and TikTok. Thanks again for listening.
And remember, whatever your moral status, we are always here to judge.
Bye.
Do you think that was good?